Stephen Michael Stearns, the defendant in a criminal trial in Osceola County, Florida, has filed a motion requesting the court to allow him to be free from physical restraints during trial proceedings and to use a normal writing instrument rather than the restrictive jail pen typically issued to incarcerated defendants. The presumption of innocence in a fair trial is a key argument. The motion cites Supreme Court precedent, Deck v. Missouri, 2005, which holds that shackling a defendant during the trial undermines the presumption of innocence, interferes with the communication between the defendant and their attorney, and damages the dignity of court proceedings. Shackles, even if hidden from the jury, can hinder the defendant's ability to participate in their defense effectively. The defense argues that shackling should not be routine, but instead should only occur after an evidentiary hearing where the state must justify the need based on security concerns, for example, prior escape attempts or violence. Florida Supreme Court decisions, Hodgkins v. State in 2015 and Bello v. State in 1989, are two other sites that reaffirm that the courts must hold hearings before imposing restraints. The motion contends that shackling only defendants who are unable to afford bail creates an unfair discriminatory practice that violates constitutional rights under the 5th and 14th Amendments. Defendants who can afford bail do not face similar restraints, which creates an unequal trial environment, in their opinion. The defense is challenging the requirement that Stearns use a flimsy jail pen rather than a normal writing instrument, arguing that it impairs the defendant's ability to take notes and communicate with their counsel. It's visibly different from what others in the courtroom use, which could prejudice the jury. The motion suggests that either the defendant be allowed a regular pen or, alternatively, that all courtroom participants, including attorneys and witnesses, be required to use the same restrictive writing instrument to prevent juror bias. Okay. So the requested relief is as follows. He asked the court to order that he be allowed to remain free of physical restraints during the trial unless the state presents specific evidence justifying their use, and be permitted to use a normal writing instrument during the trial. Alternatively, if restricted to a jail pen, the court should require all attorneys and witnesses to use the same pen to prevent prejudicial inferences by the jury. This motion ultimately seeks to ensure that Stephen Stearns receives a fair trial without prejudicial treatment based on his custodial status. What do you think of this motion? Should he be granted a regular pen, or should everybody in the courtroom have to use a jail pen? Let me know in the comments.